it's not. It's not Irish dancing. It's not river dance. It's a very unique style of dance, very traditional to Scotland, and the dances that we do all tell a story of Scottish history. There's always some story that says about a war, or the banning of the kilt, or going off to war. Every dance that we do has a story behind it, a historical significance. The style of dance is very similar to ballet with traditional Highland movements, which is why it's so different from Irish dancing, because Irish dancing is not ballet.
The history came from the clansmen who were getting ready to go either into battle or as a celebration, and a lot of the dances originated from there. So typically, like the sword dance was a dance that they would do prior to going into battle, and if they came out of it without hitting the sword, then it would be like a good omen. And say something like the Strathspey and Highland Reel was really like a celebratory dance.
I was put into dancing when I was about 5, maybe 5, almost 6, and not that I was the youngest or even the oldest at the house at the time, but apparently from what my mom and dad said, I was the one bouncing the most at the time.
I got started dancing when I was born. Some people say I came out of the womb with little gillies on.
I've been dancing almost my whole life. I started Scottish dancing in college and then competed in Highland for a while I was in grad school and a little bit after. So, and then I took a break when I had my daughter, who's now a primary, and came back, started taking lessons again last year.
Competition environment can really vary what your goals are. For me, it was intense. I was definitely trying to compete at the championship level, so it was nerve-wracking most of the time. But all a good thing, I guess.
Highland dancers are more of that kind of military-ish style of dance, very athletic. The national dances are more, they're softer dances. Typically we wear a skirt, so it's a little bit less regimented and a little bit more flowing, and you'll see a lot of ballet-esque movements. Jig and the hornpipe, not quite as soft as, say, a national dance like the Scottish lilt or the Flora. They have a lot of shuffles and more kind of tap movements in it.
Also, maybe a slightly more athleticism to our dancing now than there ever used to be. There's a lot more, there's probably a lot more strength that's needed from our dancers today, maybe than years ago. You could kind of see it even when we were competing. You could see the build-up coming. We didn't really recognize it at the time, but that's really what was happening. So I think for us as teachers, we have to find that nice balance between having strong dancers that have the athleticism, but at the same time just trying to stay true to the original art form.
I like how you just are always with your friends and you have to work hard, but it's always worth it.
Because I got to be with my sisters every weekend. We'd go to competitions together, workshops together. We made a ton of friends from across the country, and it's really unique.
I want to get healthier, and I always love dance.
You get to meet so many new people, and it's just a great experience.
I've learned a lot about practicing hard and dedicating myself to it because it takes a lot of practice to get good at it.
I like to win, and I like winning big trophies, and I like winning money.
Stand taller or something, like carry myself a little higher, because I know that I am part of something that's a little bit bigger than just a sport, because I know that it can really become a career for me, and then I can keep through this. I can make it like my life. Like from here I can go into teaching it and then judging it and then fundraising for it, having my children a part of it.
I like the fact that it's life-changing. Like, if I quit now, I would just like beg my parents to just rejoin me.
1, 2, 3, again, out, tight, tight, again, and lift, 2, 3, 4, turn, 2, 3, 4.
There's like, you can like dance and it's fun.
My favorite thing about Highland dancing is it's definitely a lifetime thing. It's not quite a hobby. It's a lifetime of traveling, of meeting new people. You go from a dancer into a professional when you start teaching and judging, and you know, it's sort of just a way of life, for me at least.
You never leave Scottish dancing. It sticks with you for life.
It's a cult.
I think it's not as known as, say, maybe the Irish step dancing because they've had that huge Broadway splash, but I think it's also a very traditional form of dance, and it's very cultural. I know that once people do it or see it, I think they're really intrigued by it. So hopefully it'll grow.